How much time do you have to bring a civil sexual abuse case in New Jersey? My name is attorney Ben Andreozzi, and my law firm, Andreozzi and Foote, has been representing survivors of sexual abuse against large and powerful organizations that enable abuse for over a decade. I'm a licensed New Jersey attorney, and many of the cases that our firm handles are based in New Jersey. One of the questions that we commonly get from our clients is, how much time do I have to pursue my case? It's important to understand that there's a distinction between how much time you have to pursue the case and how much time you have to initiate the case. Statute of limitations really applies to just the time period you have to initiate or to start the case. It does not apply to the end date of the case or how quickly you need to litigate the case. So for survivors of sexual abuse who were abused as children or under the age of 18, they must initiate the case before their 55th birthday, or they have 7 years from the date that they reasonably discover that their sexual abuse caused an injury. For sexual abuse survivors who were abused as adults or while over the age of 18, they have 7 years from the time that they reasonably discover that the abuse caused an injury. So why does New Jersey set its statute of limitations based upon some sort of link between the discovery of abuse and the understanding that it caused an injury? New Jersey has, to its credit, understood legal theories and basically psychological principles like repressed memory. And in situations involving repressed memory, the brain oftentimes will respond to a traumatic incident in a way that basically insulates the body and the mind from having to endure further trauma. And how we see that oftentimes materialize is people forget or they don't remember a traumatic experience such as sexual abuse. So New Jersey says, we're not going to start the time period or the clock that a survivor has to pursue or to bring this case until they realize that they were sexually abused. New Jersey also requires that the survivor understand the link that that abuse had with an injury that was caused. So for example, if a survivor was having some sort of a injury response, like having panic attacks every time that they went into their uncle's house, but they weren't able to connect the fact that they were abused with these panic attacks, that is also a grounds for the survivor to have an extended time period to file a civil lawsuit. Now, there are a few caveats that you should be aware of in the state of New Jersey. The first is incapacitated persons. New Jersey allows persons who are cognitively impaired or essentially incapacitated to have a 2-year extension on their claims from the time that that incapacity or cognitive impairment is gone. Now, as a practical matter, the 7-year extension to the statute of limitations will, in most circumstances, trump that 2-year incapacitated extension. So we haven't seen many cases in which that extension to the statute of limitations is applicable. Also, under New Jersey law, cases that are brought against public organizations or institutions are generally subject to a notice of claims requirement or a deadline to file a document with the court within 90 days. Based upon amendments to the New Jersey Tort Claims Act, that is no longer required in a sexual abuse case. If you have questions related to the New Jersey statute of limitations that applies to sexual abuse cases, or want to know how much time you have to bring a civil claim,